again, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on,
Right,
Debs.
I played Victoria Waterfield. That was 60, come on, help me here, 66, 67, I think it was.
No, you're younger than that.
60s, 67,
Yeah.
well, I joined
67, 68.
68.
Yeah. Yes.
That's right, yeah. Long time ago, as you know. She was a Victorian Miss. And Daleks killed her father. So Jamie and the doctor rescued me, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's such a pity that all those episodes are lost. There's one surviving one.
Of the evil, that's right.
That's
one,
right,
yeah.
wasn't it?
That's
Yeah.
right, Evil of the Daleks.
Yeah, but it was, when I went into it, it was like, okay, another job, got work for a year, great. And then somebody said to me, have you watched this programme? I said, no, I think I'd better before I go into it. But I was made very, very welcome by Patrick and Fraser, of course. We became a bit of a family. Because it was, the chemistry between us was extraordinary. As Paddis knows, you had the same experience, didn't you?
Yeah.
The chemistry is extraordinary. And I had the most wonderful year, which I'll never forget.
And we were sorry when she wanted to leave. Patrick and I, we were very sorry because we had a great. It was just like a family. It was a joy to go to work every day. You never felt that, oh God, I hope so and so's in a good mood or hasn't had a row with her husband, wife.
Yeah.
It was a joy to go to work, and we had great fun. And then we were very sad. And then of course we realised that Wendy Padbury was joining us, and then we suddenly got a spring in our step again.
It's all those short skirts.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And you wore some as well, didn't you?
Ba-bum.
No.
Yeah, so I came in after Debs, obviously, she's just said, and played Zoe Heriot, who was completely different character to yours, obviously.
You were very intelligent, weren't
She
you?
was an astrophysicist, which I probably couldn't even spell at the time. Very bright girl, tended to be slightly miffed with the doctor on many occasions when she felt that he wasn't, you know, stepping up to the mark, and she considered herself to be far more intelligent. So what's not to love about playing a, you know, great girl, clever girl, who could blow up computers? I mean, yeah, cool. And of course the same thing with Debs and Pat and Fraser was the continuation of that film. I mean, I think it was quite a special era.
It was,
yeah.
With Patrick.
Would you call it camaraderie?
I think I would, but I think it's more than that.
That's more, yes.
I think it was much more than
There was
that.
a connection, wasn't there, between all of us?
Yeah.
And I played Jamie McCrimmon, who was a Highlander from 1746, met at the Battle of Culloden, and the doctor decided to bring me back into the TARDIS, and of course he didn't know anything about electric lights and stuff. He did learn very quickly, though. He did sort of, as the script allowed him to do that, which you had to. You couldn't have him every story going, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? So,
was he Welsh?
Yeah, he was Welsh. You could understand. That's why we can take the mickey out of each other. Yeah.
Do you remember the old TARDIS that we were in, the console?
Yeah.
And all the levers slightly wobbled, so you couldn't actually do that. You had to be very careful.
Very,
Fine.
Very-
You did that.
yes.
Ding.
very gently.
Yeah, there was
That
always
was
a button
amazing.
coming off or something.
Yeah,
You'd go
it was
to press
amazing.
something and
Well,
just fall into the
It's the
TARDIS.
beginning of, I think, the Web of Fear, where we're looking at this, at episode 1, at the scanner, and I'm looking up there, and I lean on this, and it was a bulb that had been obviously lit on the console all day, and it was hot. Nowadays, you go, oh, okay, but man, stop, do it again. We couldn't in those days. You just see Jamie in the back going, let it go.
It's such a different way of filming things now than we had. I mean, it was more like a show, wasn't it?
We were on
rehearsal
the run,
week,
weren't we?
and then do
Shoot it from page one.
shoot from page one to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In an hour and a half. And if you didn't get it all in, bad luck.
Yeah.
The BBC were, you know, the guys that worked on the BBC would literally, and indeed they did on one of our
they did,
stories,
yeah.
pulled the plug because we were overrunning. And we never got to finish that episode, and it had to be added on the following week very quickly.
Do you remember when we were in the BBC TV Centre, we actually had to change costumes on the run from one scene to another.
Yeah,
Had to
yeah,
change
oh, yeah.
on the run,
Yep.
going, right, take this off and get this on. We're on the set there now.
Yeah.
Well, if you watch the first episode of Enemy of the World, when we land in Astrid's
yeah.
bungalow,
Yeah.
we're doing this scene and he's patching up Astrid. Then it cuts to the helicopter arriving. Nowadays they'd stop, have a cup of tea. But in those days, right, we're on Telecity now, studio, coming out of Telecity in 30 seconds, 1, 2, 3, and cue, the scene was continuous. Patrick goes backstage, and it's like a stage play. He has a quick change where Colin Douglas comes in, who are you, yum, yum, Joe, who are you? And nowadays they'd stop. Patrick to wardrobe, makeup, calm these heart, get out, yeah. We did it as a live stage play.
And also, Pat
You're right.
wasn't. He wasn't. He was a bit. He was very private, and he wasn't into all that extra stuff. Yeah, it was very much at the. Your job is your job. You go to work. You do your best. And as a young girl, a young actress, that's how I learnt to be in the profession. And it wasn't till years later when he phoned me up and said, when I think in the 80s when conventions became really big, and I had nothing. I hadn't done anything, and he phoned me up and said, Padders, I've got a confession to make. And I said, what's that? And he said, I've been to a convention. And I said, you're joking. And he said, I've got another confession. I said, what's that? He said, I loved it. You've got to come. And that was very,
Yeah.
he
so
really got
private,
into it.
wasn't he?
He was very private.
And he'd wear the costume at conventions, whereas before he said,
Did
no, yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, the trousers, the waistcoat, the whole costume, yeah.
Which we took off him many times in the TARDIS.
Yes.
Yeah, often a rehearsal where he came out debagged. Poor
Well,
old Pat.
without Pat, I mean, when he regenerated, whatever you like to call it, there wouldn't be Who here,
No,
wouldn't
no.
it, at all?
No.
It was down to him. that
Yes, because it
continued.
could have gone horribly pear.
Peter Davison always says, if it wasn't for Patrick, you'd never heard of me or David Tennant
Yeah.
or anybody.
Yeah.
It was Pat.
Because he was the first one. If it hadn't worked, BBC would have pulled the plug on the show and that was it.
Yeah.
And I think we had a hand in that as well.
I think we were very
As
lucky.
companions, we had a
I
hand
think
in
we
that. I
did,
think we helped along the way.
Yes, we did.
I mean, the Pat and Fraser were so welcoming
Yeah.
that it was instant. And it was nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking to take over from Debs. And, yeah, nerve-wracking, but felt very, very comfortable immediately.
If a girl joined, we fresh crumpet, marvellous, marvellous.
Yeah,
Or a man joined, good, we've got a card, you play cards, great.
Oh, yeah, we used to
So
play
that kind of made them relax, you know.
Yeah.
You taught me how to play poker.
Strip poker, yes.
No!
No, what,
It wasn't strip poker. In our coffee breaks,
Yes.
right? Pat, you and I, you said, come on, we're going to play poker. So I was there in the ante-room, and you taught me how to play poker. And I think it was Barry Letts, the director.
Yeah, on Enemy,
What was it? On Enemy. He got fed up. He said, are you going to come and rehearse? Because we're ready for you. He said, do we have to? We're playing poker.
Yeah, we know the lines, don't we? We know the lines,
Don't
yeah.
worry about us. You know, it was just amazing.
Yeah, we played cards as well.
Yeah,
But lots of people, and I can't remember the name of the card game. And is
Aggravation.
Aggravation.
Yeah, when you
What's
put the
that?
card down,
What's
you-
and
and
there could
you-
be
you
the
get
whole
down to one
cast
card,
round
yes.
the table.
And you get down to one card and
Yeah.
somebody gives you a black two. I was nearly out,
Yes,
Aggravation.
we did work as well.
Yeah,
Oh, we did, yes, we tried
We
to.
put a few episodes in the can. But I like your question. I mean, when I joined, Patrick and I knew each other from a thing called Smuggler's Bay that we'd worked on before. Then when I joined as Jamie, the comedy didn't come in until the Faceless ones, when we knew that Annika and Michael Craze were leaving, and then we started to get the kicking on. We came in a big blue TARDIS blue box. Jamie, what kicking under the table? That's when it kind of the comedy crept in for me.
But Pat had wonderful comedy sense, didn't he? It was brilliant.
Oh, he was a great
Got the comedy, and he
actor.
could be very serious as well.
As a young actress, he was just an amazing man to work with. And we had masses of fun.
Yeah, we did.
Masses of fun.
He was not a sartorial, elegant dresser, but he
No,
could,
he was-
he
certainly
could
wasn't.
charm the girls
Oh,
out of
yes.
the trees.
He
the
was
birds
a
out.
real
They
ladies'
actually
man.
fell at his feet.
Fell at his feet.
Yeah, they did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
He had this charismatic thing about him. extraordinary.
Definitely.
He didn't have a six-pack, anything like that.
No.
You know, muscles, no. He was packed. And they went,
It did, yeah, it did.
well, for me, it's one of my missing ones. Maybe one day they will discover it. It was my last storyline, Fury from the Deep. Do you remember that phrase?
Yes, yeah.
With a seaweed monster that came out of the sea into the pipeline.
That's right, yeah.
That's right. Foam
You never saw the monster at all until the very...
we did. That's why I liked it, actually. First 4 episodes, you didn't see it at all. But you knew it was there. Because when it's getting near you, there was a heartbeat. It went, ba-dum, ba-dum, and as it got nearer and nearer, ba-dum, and got louder, dong, 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 and it was really scary. It really was. And I loved that storyline, because as I say, you didn't see it. But because I loved that storyline, I was actually called Leatherlungs because I had a huge scream. And I defeated that monster. And I killed it with my scream, and it retreated back into the water. Yes.
Apart from the Highlanders, obviously, that's my first story,
Oh,
but
yeah.
Evil of the Daleks, which is your first story,
Oh,
because
yes.
there's some lovely filming in that. I had a fight with Kemmel the Turk, and the Daleks playing trains with Patrick. You know, trains, 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 and he was jumping on the back. I'd like to see the Evil of the Daleks. So if you could have a word with Philip Morris for us, it'd be all nice.
Fine, yes.
I've got a couple actually, but one is Mind Robber. I usually say it's Mind Robber because Fraser got chicken pox and he was off for a week, and we had Hamish. But
That's right, I remember that.
But no, I liked Mind Robber mainly because it was such an innovative, completely different type of story. I really liked it. I think I probably remember it in my head better than it actually is. But still, I do love that. But I love the Invasion as well.
Yes, yeah.
I love the Invasion. I'd like them to find the rest of Space Pirates, because I can't even
Yeah.
remember the story.
I've listened to it on audio.
Oh, have you?
And I'm thinking, oh, actually, I'd like to see. Yeah, I'd like
Yeah.
to see this one on audio. Yeah.
There's one episode, I think, existing, that's all.
And Evil of the Daleks for me.
Yeah, and Fury for me. And when I first got the job, it was brilliant. I said, it's a year's work. And I didn't even think about that.
No.
It was a job. I went in, I did my bit, and I got away with it. So that was it.
Yeah, I think that was.
I
yeah.
think that's the same for all of us, really. There was no,
Yeah.
there was no forethought of
No.
what I can
Nothing.
bring,
No.
because we were all young actors and actresses.
And you're playing a character, and you learn the lines. You do the character.
That's
You
right.
don't think of
And so it was well written. You know, it was all there in the script. So it was just a matter of trying to say it and make people believe what you were saying.
Yeah.
Well, apart from sort of being recognised from time to time in the street, there
Yeah.
was because there was no after work Doctor Who. No, it wasn't really.
Yeah.
It wasn't big. I mean, it was a
No.
big
No
show,
conventions.
but there was nothing
Nothing like this. at
like
all.
this.
No.
So it was a job. It was a really fun job. So, and totally unaware at the time that you were actually involved in something that you would be talking about however many years later.
It's amazing.
So it's no, I don't know.
The one time I kind of realised it was famous. I played football for the Showbiz 11, and I ran onto the football pitch one day and they introduced everybody. You know, here's so and so, here's so, and I ran on, and all the girl fans, we love you, Jamie. Oh yes, we do. We love you, Jamie. And I thought, my God, they're singing about me. Oh, I must be more famous than I thought. And it sang this, 'cause it was supposed to be a Beatles song. We love you, Beatles, or yes, we do.
Yeah.
But they adapted it to We Love You, Jamie. I thought, oh, this show's bigger than I thought.
I knew that it was big and I hadn't participated at all. And it was John Nathan Turner actually that took me and said, seriously, just stop moaning and come to a convention. And so he and Nick Courtney took me to a convention in a tiny little school in Wimbledon, I think, Merton, in London, just outside London. And I said, I can't do it because I'm scared, I don't know what I'm going to say, I can't remember anything, I probably won't be able to remember my own name. If somebody asks me a question, I'll probably faint. And he said, oh, for God's sake, pull yourself together, woman. Come and see. And you won't even be introduced. So I was a surprise guest at this little convention in a school gym. And I was completely shocked because I kept saying to John, don't leave me, don't go. And he sat with me and asked me questions, but knew the answers. And I realised about 20 minutes that, oh, I see, these are real fans. This is, oh wow, this is something I've never experienced. So it suddenly I became really comfortable.
The first convention I did was in like a church hall or something in Cardiff, and they asked me there because I was playing Swansea Theatre, and they asked me there, and I thought, well, no, I don't want to do this because I asked so many times. I really don't want to know because, I mean, I've got to get up there and speak, do all that. I haven't got a script or anything. It's just going to be me. I felt so vulnerable. I'm thinking, no, I can't do it. But I did do, and my husband came with me, Steve. And I walked into this church hall, and there was Victor Pemberton, who was the writer and script editor when I was on it, and his partner David. And we walked in, and we went, oh, lovely to see you. There were only about, I suppose, 50 people from Cardiff. And I thought, okay, I can deal with this. This is going to be all right, I think. So Tommy was going, oh, no. And they asked me questions, and yes, fine, and we had a laugh. Then some guy stood up and said, when you did the episode of, was it, Web Affair, you said a line, what did that mean? I said, excuse me, you're talking about years ago. I said, I have no idea. Which line was it? He said, this, that and the other. I said, I simply have no idea again. Sorry, and I thought, get a life. You know, please. And if you actually, sorry.
No, I had the same question.
Is it? Oh.
In my first American convention.
Oh.
In episode 3 of Mind Robber, you walk into the TARDIS, you take off your jacket, you turn round, you hang it up on a hook, you turn to the Doctor and you say, and then he said what I said, what were you thinking?
Oh.
No. What do you mean? What do you mean, what was I thinking? Probably, what's for lunch? Probably, what am I going to say next?
Yeah. I think my first American convention, I'd been to 2 or 3 English ones, small, in at Longleat. But the first American one, I was introduced and I walked on stage, and there was 3,500 people just went, cheered and clapped. I went, whoa. Wow. You know, that was suddenly I realised, wow, it's big in America.
The fans.
Yes,
Without
yes,
the fans,
indeed.
we would not be here.
No,
yeah,
no.
that's true
They
enough.
always backed us, and the new series, they're always backing us. We have fans from 8 years old to 80.
Yes, that's right, 8 to 80
that's
to the front,
absolutely
yeah.
true. But also the genius of the programme. I mean, the actual concept is, you know, a character that can regenerate. It has infinite possibilities, and I think because it can change all the time, that's what. And then, you know, and each actor playing the Doctor brings his own, maybe one day her own, you know, theme to the character. I think it's a stroke of genius.
And it's the feeling of consanguineousness, isn't it?
Of what?
Pardon?
Consanguineousness.
What's that?
Consanguineousness.
Of the same blood. Once you're in the family, it's all of the same blood. It regenerates through it.
Oh, I didn't know you were so clever.
Yeah.
You are.
Fraser Hines, News at 10, Long Island, America. Consanguineous.
I know sanguineous
Where did you get
is
them from?
Of
blood.
Yes.
Blood.
Consanguineous,
French.
it means of the same blood. And once you're in the family, it's like the mafia. You're in the family, you're in the family,
We're all
Doctor
a family
family.
here.
Or like the
We're all
East End,
family, yeah.
in
We're
the
all
family.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
But